Which leads us into another question from the audience here that says, what are some projects that would look great on a resume or talk about during interviews for cybersecurity? And I'm going to expand it slightly just because I folded in with another question of getting internships, which I know is different for people who are students versus not a student. So it's just kind of, yeah, what are those things that interviewers look for, whether it's past internships or projects or certs? And this time we'll start with Peter. Because Gaurav, I'm letting you off the hook.
Yeah. Be early. Be on camera. Dress professionally according to whatever the standards of who you're talking are. I mean, like, look, like I wear the same like button-down shirt every day when I'm on camera. I pay attention to what's behind me. That little thing there, that's actually for my daughter. It's there for effect, right? It's about my identity as a dad. There's a prize from like when I work for Acument.
Wait,
like,
this is a real background? I thought this was like green screen.
Oh no, I don't do green. Well, and that's a good point. I never do green screens. I've never done a fake background because people want to feel like you're willing to be exposed for who you are and what you are and how you are. People are looking for people who are honest. Most people will lie all the time because they're afraid that the person on the other end is going to say, no, I won't give you the job. It is very hard to find people who have the courage to be honest about who they are. And, like now down below the level of the camera, there's like stuff that I still haven't unpacked from when I moved 4 months ago, like cables and stuff. Right. So
I
it's
was
a little
about to
bit
give you credit. I was like,
staged.
man, you need to send this to Microsoft for their photo like stock backgrounds.
I still love the Windows 95 like grass, but so that's one thing. But you're going to have to. What I think is most important is ask questions. Be curious. Like when you don't know anything, all you can bring is curiosity, and talk about working hard. The skill that is in shortest supply in the United States these days is the ability to work. Most people don't know how to work, which sounds like a weird statement, but it's true. Like most people just expect that I do this, I get grades, I get other grades, I show, I do the LinkedIn thing, I do the profile, I do a bunch of games, I get some certs, and I'm going to, like a job is going to come out, kind of like it's coin operated. It's not. And you have to be able to show what effort looks like and to be honest. And to be honest is hard. It's the hardest thing in the world. Be you.
So now we change the sequence. So who's the next?
I mean, you get to go second. It's okay.
Okay. I will take
do
that
we need a spinner like in in those like games like Twister?
I think we should just like point this one.
But yeah, I think Peter, a nice background. I think I'm sitting in my daughter's room, so I have to put my other thing. But I'm totally with you. I think you have to show up who you are. I think don't kind of wear a whatever artificial a facet, I would say. And it's not a project, I would say. It's more like the attitude which I would look for if I'm a hiring manager. I think the attitude of learning, attitude of saying, if I don't know something, I will go out and look for it, and I will explore, and I will come to you with questions. So for me, it's not the project you have worked on. For me, it's more about your attitude, willingness to learn. I think I always look for learning, and even like your struggles. Like talk me about any real kind of maybe a project or whatever. Like why did you do that? What happened? And what did you do to come out of it? So I think that whole trying to figure out the way, finding a way, and also like how you can work with a team. Cyber is not. I mean, though we kind of sometimes siloed, and sometimes as Kyser was saying, maybe very more introverted. We don't talk. Maybe we should be talking more. That's one thing I feel like the cybersecurity should be doing more, which we are doing here. I guess trying to tell your story, trying to be able to work with the team. So I will look for those qualities on your resume, and things you mentioned, like how did you work in a difficult situation, or how did you conquer something which you're not comfortable with, versus just a project. I'm not probably I would be interested more on knowing you than a project you have worked on.
If it makes you feel better, I really thought that was your background, not a green screen.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and I kind of like dovetail off of you and Peter a little bit. I mean, building a resume, I wish I would have kept my first resume because it was probably the worst thing ever. And I should have just kept it, and like framed it as a, hey, this is where I started. And personally, I tell people, especially like college students or those like doing career transitions, your resume is also your brand. And a lot of people are like, I don't know what that means. Like I'm a good person, blah, blah, blah. And like, that's cool. But again, kind of going off of what you said is how are you telling the story of who you are? And anyone could slap a college degree and some work experience or their involvement with these platforms. But what really sticks out to me personally, right, when I'm helping people build resumes is taking whatever you do and make it into a measurable. So, hey, if you attend classes, that's cool. Were you also doing tutoring in between classes? Were you helping teach students? Were you also a teaching assistant? How many outside of course work hours were you doing to also improve yourself? And another thing that I tell people to really just focus on, minus the technical projects, anyone can be taught technical, but showing your community work, showing your maybe volunteer work. There's a lot of nonprofit organizations always looking for students or those transitioning to help put volunteer hours in, because again, they're doing things for the community, and it shows that you're diverse and empathetic, and a way for you to start showing soft skills on your resume as well. And of course, if you want to throw technical things, that's awesome. I tell people to link their GitHub or make a newsletter, link that as well. So you're showing that you can document code first off. And then the second part is you can write documentation. So maybe that is your newsletter or something as well. So
we're on time, so I want to try to be brief here. But for me, in my opinion, I really doubled down on the hack the box CTFs in TryHackMe. I definitely when I was coming out of the military and going to the field, I put the bullet points like I did this many TryHackers, I did this many hack the box machines. Also, I put in that I did a network automation lab, and I also put in on my resume my 100 days of code, and I felt like that was really good because my 100 days of code, I literally coded Python for 100 days. And every single line of code that I wrote, you can find on my GitHub, you can find on my website. And that's undeniable proof that I went through all the coding. And then another thing is I put a little bullet point on my content creation. And I keep talking about content creation because it's helped my career out so much. But when I make a video on how to hack the box machine, it's undeniable proof that I know how to use Nmap. I know how to use a certain amount of tools to break into that machine, and it's recorded. You can't deny it. You can't. There's no. It's undisputable proof that I know what I'm doing when it comes to these technical skills. And one thing that I didn't do that I learned from one of my podcast guests. My podcast is the Hackers Catch podcast, and I had a guest, Ryan Dobb, and what he did to break in his first pen testing role is he took Metasploitable, which is an intentionally vulnerable machine, and he wrote a professional pen testing report on that vulnerable machine and uploaded that with his application. And that was undeniable, undisputable proof that yes, he can write a report and he knows the technical stuff too, because he did the steps to exploit it. So that's another thing you can do. So anything that's hands-on, just document it, write about it, make content about it, and link it in your resume. And if a hiring manager or recruiter clicks on it, there's undeniable proof that that's you who wrote that blog. That's you who made that video.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today. We're going to go into the next panel where we highlight cybersecurity talent, and we see some of the panelists later on in the focus session. Gaurav, please come back again for a focus session. Hopefully we have you in the future. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.